Armchair Sports. We're about to do our fantasy football draft. You should be seeing the screen, which is no longer blocked by my face. In just a moment here, I'm getting used to the toggles. Perfect. All right, so first pick was Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey second. Sorry for that brief delay there, but we're already caught up. I have the sixth pick, and soon we have Sean joining us. Sean? Hey, how's it going?
Sterling, what's up, my man?
Thank you for making it. I just got this up and running, so you did not miss much other than Christian McCaffrey going second and Saquon going first.
Very good. What are you drafting, Sterling, here?
I'm sixth. Where are you at? I just kind of.
I'm 11, so I'm at the back.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So what's your thought process as you go into the sixth pick, right in the middle? So you're gonna have a long wait no matter which pick you're at.
Yeah, I know. It's the worst of both worlds.
I think so. I like if I was in the top 5, I'd be excited because I get what I think is one of my top tier running backs. But 6 is like the worst to me to be. Like,
it is one of the worst. So I guess we'll get to see how good I am at fantasy football. I know that I want to have a running back. So it looks like if David Johnson is available, that's who I'll be targeting.
That's who I would too.
Yeah. So we'll make that pretty easy on the first pick here. I'll just go ahead and take David Johnson. One thing I want to acknowledge is I'm not a fan of Le'Veon Bell, so if he was not going in on my team, I probably just would have got a wide receiver if David Johnson had been grabbed.
Yep, I agree for sure.
Why don't you like Le'Veon Bell?
I don't like running backs that switch teams more than anything else. And while I think that the Jets are going to be pretty good, are going to be a lot better than expected this year, I don't think they're going to be a top team. And I generally like running backs that I know for a fact are going to be on good offenses. The exception to me is David Johnson because he's going to be targeted a billion times, number one. And 2, he's on an offense that's going to have a lot more snaps than anybody else. So I think his touchdown volume may not be there. I think he can make it up just by targets in the passing game.
It makes a lot of sense to me. I couldn't have said it better. Only thing I'll add is on Le'Veon Bell is where Adam Gase came from, the coach of the Jets. He didn't target the running back nearly as heavily as Bell was when he was in Pittsburgh. He was another year older than the year of football. Look at himself last year. He didn't target the running back that much. I know the personnel makes a lot of difference. A lot of factors here.
Receivers going. I'm a little surprised to see this many receivers going.
Yeah, I think their hand is forced. I mean, the next one is going to be Todd Gurley and then Joe Mixon. Who wants the best running back or who wants a good running back on a bad team? So I understand their wide receivers. Personally, I like Juju Smith-Schuster. I can say his name because I know he'll be long gone before.
So this is an interesting area to me because there's a lot of running backs that I still like on the board, and I only have to wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks to get to a receiver. While there's a decent amount of chances I'm going to get to a running back that I like, but just given the way running back is going, I'm going to choose to pick a running back here with hope that I can get one of my other top guys. I'm going to play the ADP game here because there's someone I really want. And take a safe starting running back and go with James Conner. I prefer Dalvin Cook from he could be, but I'm going to go with James Conner because I think he's a little safer than Dalvin Cook, who's been hurt every year up into even including college. I think he's the potential to be a top 1 back. I don't think Conner can be that, but I like to play safe round 1 and shoot for the moon later on, so I'm going to take it safe.
Hey, that's perfect. I love Dalvin Cook. The only thing is the injury history, so I'm just kind of banking on the fact.
I'm with you. Like from a talent and offense wise, like I think Cook is the way to go. And whoever I think grabs Cook is a steal. And I tell you, if Cook comes back to me, I'm gonna have a real tough time not to choose him.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a good spot if Cook is still available there.
Like that's and I know that means I'm gonna be down on receivers, but that's gonna be real tough. There's one I would consider maybe picking over him, depending on what happens here.
Yeah, I did my auction draft last week, and I kind of messed up. I did perfect to start. I did. I spent a lot of my money early, and then I got a little too hesitant, so I found myself with too much money at the end. So what I try to do when I find myself with my back against the wall, I just try to acquire assets. So there were a lot of running backs and wide receivers that were gone, but they hadn't done the quarterback.
So somebody's clearly watching the in my mind, because they just took the 2 running backs that I was going to want to take.
Oh, yeah, no, I just know that we aren't live, unfortunately, on Facebook or on YouTube. We'll be uploading this after the fact.
So I was hoping that I was going to cook or Chubb to me. That was my goal. Now, that said, I'm going to draft Devontae Adams, who I think is incredibly safe and just guaranteed to have a giant target share. Tyreek Hill's got probably a bigger upside, but I just don't think the Chiefs are going to repeat. And Juju, I feel, was topped out last year based off of target volume that you're going to be able to see. So I'm going to pick Adams and be happy that I got what is my number 1 receiver this year, along with Connor, and be quite happy with the way this is starting out for me.
I think that's a pretty smart move there. I couldn't agree. Devontae Adams is going to be one of the safest guys you can have. He's Aaron Rodgers throwing to him.
Yep. I think Kansas City's going to be awesome. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to repeat what he did last year. And I just think Smith is capped. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Again, being sandwiched here on the 11th pick on the backside in round 2, I think I'm going to go strong running back instead of one running back, one. I don't know. I'm torn, man. I like Johnson.
It depends who falls to you, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, throw my running back out. I think I like Kerryon Johnson, but if Juju Smith-Schuster's still there, I do like him. We like our Steelers plays.
Well, Sterling, let me ask you, how do you feel about Kerryon on here?
As he gets drafted?
Yeah, did he just get drafted? Yeah. So my feeling on him is I don't like drafting running backs on bad teams. I think he's a talent beyond anybody else. I'm just concerned about the volume there.
I don't think you need to be that concerned. I mean, they got rid of Theo Riddick, so I know that they're probably going to bring someone else in for third down passing, but I don't think anything worse than a 65-35 split, 65 carry on.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I'd rather have someone I know that is – I think you had the options to have no top guys here.
Yeah, it looks like I have a 50-50 chance of getting Juju Smith-Schuster or not knowing exactly what I'm going to do.
So Juju is my last of the top-tier receivers on my list, like when I broke them out from a tier range. He's the very last one on my list.
Yeah, I think – yeah.
We should stop talking.
What happened?
Juju just got picked.
Oh, I was scrolled up too high. Sorry, I was like, I thought the wrong person just disappeared there. So I think I'm going to go Mike Evans. I'm just kind of debating in my head. I'm an Atlanta fan, so I'm having to fight the urge to do Devontae Freeman.
I think you got a lot of good options. In a spot I didn't like early on, I think you got a pretty good space here.
Yeah, I'm contemplating going with a bigger name wide receiver. I see a couple running backs that I got pinched into the spot that I want. I'm going to go ahead and just draft Mike Evans. I thought about taking a gamble and waiting on Chris Godwin, but I think Mike Evans is a little bit safer.
So it's interesting at Godwin. I think I like him a lot less than most people do. I get the reason why people like Godwin. I do. I get all the reasons from the offense that he's going to be in. He's in the slot. I kind of feel like he's drafted a little bit at his ceiling to an extent. And I don't know. Like I like him as a player. I just think you can find better value.
Good. Well, that's good to hear since I got Mike Evans on my team.
Yep. I think Mike is truly the dominant person on that team.
So I'm going to have to use all of my self-control to avoid taking a quarterback and a tight end early because I was already eyeing Travis Kelce, and I just had to keep saying, don't even say his name, otherwise he might end up on my team. And I want to take a flyer on tight end and quarterback.
That's where I'm leaning toward. That's where I'm leaning towards too. The reason is this: that a 13 league is pretty deep, and the depth dies after around like 4 or 5.
Yes.
Is what right? Like it just it gets crushed, and I feel if you don't have a core of 4 players you feel good about in the 2 major positions, that you're going to be scrambling for the rest of the year. And I would rather scramble at tight end than I would for I'd rather stream tight end than stream a flex, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And just for everybody who is watching this, this is a half point per reception league. So that's part of the reason why Julian Edelman's still available. If this was a full point per reception, he may have already been gone. Yeah, there's a lot of wide receivers here that are just like maybe a half step below Mike Evans. The main one who stands out to me to avoid a lot of the up and down is Adam Thielen. I think he's getting I don't know why. He's actually kind of low on the rankings, in my opinion, based on his last 2 years.
I agree. You know who else I think is massively underdrafted is Robert Woods. Robert Woods has been a top 12 receiver in the last 2 years, and I've been seeing him in the 4th round in a lot of this, and I think that's an absolute steal.
Yeah, people, like you said, you tend to wait for upside in the later rounds. I think Robert Woods is high enough to where he should be picked a little earlier for his safety in that high floor. I keep checking my phone because I got the other guys in the draft that are used to just texting about what's going on. So that's why I keep looking away.
You're good. And I should say I'm the newbie here and not the expert. Where
you're
what he's talking about. I like to watch a lot of college football. Like that's my knowledge on these. I'm like, I remember these guys in college. So so you might see me draft the all college team, which.
All right. So I want to pick a running back, but I like Josh Jacobs. I just don't like him a lot. Again, there's Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs taken back to back. I think Julian should have a good role, half point per reception. I don't have to worry about the up-and-down nature of Amari Cooper. So I am kind of leaning towards Edelman as the de facto number one. But I am also eyeballing Kenny Golladay. The Lions should be playing from behind a lot. So that's where I'm kind of going back and forth in my mind. Half point per reception puts me a little bit closer to Julian Edelman and a better offense. So hopefully he doesn't get left out. But I'm going to tick this down to 10 seconds and think it out. Yeah, we'll go Julian Edelman. Yeah, that was what ticked it. I got a better quarterback in Tom Brady who has a relationship with his go-to guy underneath. So
I think that's a good pick. I really like that pick.
Yeah, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get one of these running backs. Not Josh Jacobs, but who knows? Maybe someone doesn't want David Montgomery. Otherwise, I'm really gonna have to start reaching for running backs here because I don't want to be too far behind the 8 ball.
I'm in an interesting position coming up here because the guys I really like are kind of in a bit of a reach, which I think I might be able to get on the turn when they come back to me here. So I'm not sure who I want to look for. So when I take a look, I'm going to take a look at what the other teams have as I look to come on, which are very, very running back heavy, which makes me think they're going to take a wide receiver, which makes me think that I'm probably going to want to try to get my wide receiver in here and get one of the running backs that I still feel good about and see. Hopefully they don't have to go wide receiver. Hopefully they don't want go 3 running backs on me.
Yeah, my this running back depth it fell off a cliff.
It dies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I tell you, I'm tempted in my own self to go running back, and just kind of stream my second receiver a little bit and hope somebody I like comes up with me. Just because
not a bad idea.
Secondary receiver, okay. Where as a running back, I just don't know if I'm going to get another one.
Yeah, I'm looking at Mark Ingram, and I'm like, Mark Ingram is my second running back. I'm in trouble because I can see what's going to happen. Most likely is I don't think the Ravens are going to be as good, and once they're eliminated from, hopefully once they're eliminated from the playoffs, it's already week 13. So
this is
nervous there.
I'm not going to lie, I'm struggling here because the running back falls off a cliff so much, but I really think I can get one of the top receivers, one of the 3 Rams ones that are here and still alive. But I think the running back depth is so challenging that I think I'm going to run with David Montgomery.
I think that's a good pick.
who I think is going to get a lot of opportunity in the Bears offense, which I project to be fairly decent. And I'm going to see what comes back to me.
Yeah, I just went ahead and narrowed it down to running backs only, so I make sure I pick one here since I feel like I don't pick forever in between my draft picks. So I'm looking at Mark Ingram still, but I'm pushing him down. I'm probably going to go Sony Michel or Duke Johnson Jr. The only thing is I think Houston brings in another back or they bring someone up their depth
They
chart.
brought in Carlos Hyde.
Okay.
So it depends on if you believe what you think about Hyde and what you think is going to be done with that.
Yeah, I do think that Duke Johnson at least gets the first shake at it, and he is a good he's a better pass catching back. I mean, if I'm choosing between the two of them, I'd be more interested to see what Duke Johnson can do with more time than Carlos Hyde.
No, I agree. I think Johnson's the back you want there, regardless. But I feel Carlos Hyde comes to only hurt Johnson.
Yeah, I'm also again I like Sony Michel, but I did have to take Julian Edelman earlier just based on total value. Yeah, I might have two Patriots on my team.
There goes Galladay.
Yeah, well, he hung out there a little longer than I thought.
So here's where I come to what do I want my team to look like? Because in my book, there's two players. I'm only considering two players, and it's Cooper Kupp, who is a touchdown magnet for the Rams, and it's Sony, who I think is massively underdrafted.
Yeah.
In the league, right? I think he's on a good offense, and he's going to get the work. And it depends on what I want to look like. I'm just taking a look at the running back depth and know how long before I come back and what do I really want? And I just got to go Sony Michel on the running backs edge of the stage. I think I can find another receiver. I'm not sure I can find a running back after this.
Yeah, no, I think you were right to take Sony Michel. Again, though, the first thing I brought up, if I remember correctly, was the fact that I already have a Patriots player. So that's not a knock on Michel at all. It's just the fact that unfortunately, the dice came up almost snake eyes, just whatever the next worst would be. I don't play craps.
Yeah, it's Sony. So Sony Michel is the guy I've won in the fourth round. I targeted him for very first pick. I'm thinking Sony Michel or Robert Woods is who I'm targeting in the fourth. And the fact that I can get them is I'm pretty happy with the way that's rolling. I don't love that I know whatever receiver I'm going to have is going to be questionable. There's definitely a couple on the board that I'm interested in that I think might get a chance to fall to me. So we'll see. I got a long way before the next pick comes.
Yeah, someone took Marlon Mack. We didn't mention his name, I think, for obvious reasons. They have a talented team, but I'm pretty sure you noticed that he wasn't on the field when they were playing from behind.
Yes, and I think Jacoby Brissett's a fine quarterback. I do, but on the other hand, I think he in the fourth round. I get it, but
I'm debating even now between well, no, Mark Ingram is actually just drafted, so that works out well for me. Makes it a lot easier. We're gonna go ahead and take Duke Johnson.
Yep. So we're 4 picks in, right? Right now, mine's Connor, Montgomery, Adams, and Michelle. And what is yours there?
Mine's Duke Johnson, David Johnson. Apparently, I like D. Johnsons, Mike Evans, and Julian Edelman.
How do you feel about your team so far?
I liked it better when it was David Johnson and Mike Evans, and it would have been nice if we could have rearranged the draft order. But for where I was, I kind of had to make some choices. Maybe I shouldn't have gone Julian Edelman. But again, I have to go back now and look and see who I should have taken over him. But I just don't like Duke Johnson as my second running back. I love him as my flex.
That's how I'm going to feel with the receiver. I'm going to nab almost certainly, right? Which is. I would love this as my flex. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I'll say I like my team a lot. I feel it's very safe. So taking a look here, I'm probably going to look for some boom coming up here for the rest of my draft.
That makes sense.
The team is safe, so I'm probably going to look for some boom here.
Yeah, my third flex or my flex spot is going to be a running back to start. Then I'm going to start going for this wide receiver depth probably. For the flex wide receiver flex position, I'm liking running back, but I'm liking Damian Williams just came off the board. And man, I kind of like seeing Singletary. I wouldn't mind seeing him. And then Eckler. I don't think they're going to work out a deal with Melvin Gordon. I think he's going to go
So
until week 10.
the three guys I'm looking at in the next tier of running back to me is Tevin Coleman, Miles Sanders, and David Singletary. I think of those fall to you, I think you'll be sitting pretty good.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I like Miles Sanders as a talent based on what I've heard, but the fact that he's in Philly just has me concerned. I think that they're going to share the workload.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. I did Connor, Montgomery, Adams, Michelle.
You got Connor?
Yep.
Who's the first two?
Connor and Adams are my first two picks.
Devontae Adams?
Yep.
And James Conner?
Yep.
There goes Eckler.
Yeah, as the fifth. I'm talking to myself. What do you think, Sterling? What do you think of Eckler in the top of the fifth?
Game on over here?
I think he's going to be in a timeshare, but the half point per reception tips the scales in his favor. And if he does produce early, they're not going to pull him off the field. So he'll always get first opportunity, in my opinion. I mean, maybe he'll come off if they're up 2 or 3 scores, but I like him.
I mean, you'll probably agree with me. I'm one of the things I'm going to be looking to see if I can nab Justin Jackson pretty late in this draft. Put him on my bench early, see what type of workload he gets.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And with Tevin Coleman, my concern is Matt Breida has actually looked a lot better than Tevin Coleman, not just in preseason, but even going back to last year. Tevin Coleman cost himself some money in free agency.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I get that. So you and me, I think, disagree a little bit on Sanders. So I think Sanders is not going to be featured very much the first couple weeks. So I think Sanders is a long-term pick. And if you're in a position where you can nab him and you already feel comfortable about your team, I think he has great giant upside and is worth a swing at the fence. If you can get in the fifth round, or sixth round, I think when you're this deep, he's a lot riskier to go with, especially the way you feel about your running backs. I have in a 10-person league. I feel great that he's somewhere on my bench right now as my 4th, 5th running back. Love him on that. If I have to play him, especially early on, I'd feel very concerned.
No, I would agree. Yeah, you definitely don't want to have to be starting Miles Sanders anytime before. His bye week's week 10. I'd say anytime before week 6. I'm going to go ahead and take Singletary.
Yep.
I was just trying to look further down the list here. Singletary makes it pretty easy decision. And then I can get off just the running backs, and now I can look at all positions and see their values. And I always try to fill my starting lineup out first, minus defensive and kicker. But, I might also wait a little bit longer on quarterback and tight end.
I'm probably going to wait pretty deep on tight end. If O.J. Howard flipped back to me, I think I'd consider it. Again, in a deep league like this, I would rather stream a tight end and feel confident about my top 2 positions.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
This is a totally different conversation,
Correct. Yeah, no, I like that we went up just one more to 13. I think that was a unlucky number for some, but lucky number for us.
I think it makes it tougher.
So, one thing we have in place to make it more competitive, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the rules, but since we'll all have a bye week, we always pay the person who gets the highest score wins that week. So even though you're not matched up against anybody, you still want to try to set your lineup just that way you can win the high score for the week.
So here's an interesting situation. If I was not in the team I was going to draft, I would draft Coleman because I'm a believer in Tolman. However, the fact I have 3 running backs, to me, my choice is easy here, to be honest. Like, I don't even have to think about it. It's Alshon Jeffrey, who I feel is getting drafted at his floor, which is really a low-end wide receiver too, which I feel is his floor in the baseline. I understand Wirtz has a lot of weapons there, but I feel he is safe to give me 60 yards a game with touchdown upside.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people are concerned about all the targets or all the different options they have, especially bringing in Deshaun Jackson. But I think the odd man out is actually going to be Nelson Aguilar. I think he's going to be a free agent after this year, and it doesn't look like they're thrilled with him, even though he gave them good production.
I think it's easy to forget, too, that he was hurt for a lot of last year, Alshon was. And understand he's always going to be an injury risk to an extent, right?
Yep.
But slow start was too hurt. You know what he's not right now? Injured.
Exactly. No, he's healthy.
So I'm very happy with my running back depth to get that. That makes me feel very good.
Yeah, I like Tevin Coleman. Something weird happened with him last year. It was like the holes weren't there. He wasn't seeing correctly. Something was going on with him, and I don't know exactly what it was. But luckily, he's reunited with Shanahan, so maybe he can unlock that secret. Because 2 years ago, Tevin Coleman was really good.
I also think he's a pass-catching running back as well in a Mike Shanahan offense on a team that's going to be down.
Yes, I do think so. I think Matt Breida is also a pass-catching running back, but he's a little on the smaller side. So even if Breida were to kind of be the 40% guy and the 60-40, there's a chance he gets hurt. And I've never seen Tevin Coleman get hurt. Maybe my memory's a little foggy, but he's always been there when Devontae Freeman went down.
So this is an interesting. I am tempted to get OJ Howard here because I feel my team is very strong overall. However, going on my theory of, man, that's tough because I do like Coleman, but I do think Howard does give me a potential top 10.
Just be aware that there are some more tight ends coming up. I mean, look, you see right under him, Hunter Henry and Jared Cook, who aren't bad options.
Yep. I'm not that interested in Hunter Henry or Jared Cook. If I'm going to want a tight end, I want to swing for the fences here. But I'm a believer. I'm going to go with what I believe, and I'm going to go with Coleman. I've been talking about him. I wanted him last round. I'm going to stick with Coleman, and which to me tells me I'm almost certainly punting tight end.
Yes, and you got some good running back depth. You got 4 of them now.
Listen, that's the thing, in my opinion, where you fall is running back depth. I think I can find another receiver if I need to,
Yeah, I'm looking at Sammy Watkins, but I'm also looking at Dede Westbrook. I guess it depends on
I love Dede. I'm a big fan of Dede Westbrook.
They were raving about his route running, and I mean, in the preseason, what else do you have to go on except for rave reviews?
I love Dede. I think he would have been a reach for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Sammy Watkins offers a nice safety net there with the being in the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
My only argument against
Watkins shadowing Jalen Ramsey and Hill. What'd you say?
My only thing about Watkins is he's the 4th target on this team.
Yeah, I can see that. Dede for you is number 1 to start, but once Marquise Lee comes back, do you think that Dede takes a secondary role?
No, I don't. Because I think Nick Foles targets the slot a lot.
Oh, I was looking at Aaron Rodgers, actually. He caught my attention, but I just have to – I'm going to – oh, there you go. At least he got drafted. I was going to force myself not to reach and take him. Yeah, I do like Dede Westbrook. The Sammy Watkins is attractive. I'm just debating in my head and back and forth and making sure I'm not missing anything looking over here. Since I won't be drafting till my next pick, I think, is tomorrow sometime. All right, let's go with the upside pick. Dede Westbrook with Nick Foles. I went Dede.
You did, I love Dede, and if I was in your position, that's who I would have gone with.
Yeah, now that gives me 3 different players on bye week 10, but I'll figure it out.
That's so far from now. I have no idea what my team will look like week 10.
No, that's true. In week 10, I could be out of the playoffs or locked in, so I might not even have to worry about it.
Exactly. And who knows how many people are actually going to be on your team at that point.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I could have just 4 of these guys, and everyone else is different.
Don, who's Dede?
D.D. Westbrook. Jackson.
You know, some people are talking of Deion Lewis on the Titans as I look down here for some late running back depth potentially.
I like that. I'm a fan. He got a lot of targets last year. I think it's with Derrick Henry's insanity.
You know, yeah, and I'm thinking like a Deion Lewis could be a good option. But he's a little smaller, but he's also fulfilled that role before. So I'm also looking at Latavius Murray. I know, like, who's to say he can't fill that Mark Ingram role? And I think that's how the Saints are going to do their attack.
What do you think of McCoy there?
Yeah, Ramsey's a badass.
I don't know. McCoy has me a little nervous just because the news is so recent. I was just probably going to leave him alone. I see he got picked up by Drafting Greatness, so maybe they know something we don't. Because the team name's pretty strong. What's for dinner over there?
Got some Papa John's pizza and some buffalo chicken dip.
Nice. What's the topping on the pizza of choice? Pepperoni?
Sausage, pepperoni, and bacon. The go-to.
You didn't have anyone over there that was arguing for pineapple on the pizza, did you?
No, we don't have any sadists like that. You like pineapple on your pizza, you're a communist, and I stand by that.
Yeah, all right. So it's finally my turn to pick two more. I'm keeping in mind Latavius Murray, which might be a bit of a reach.
No, I like Murray. I think he's underdrafted, in my opinion, because I think they're going to use him a lot, especially on the goal line. I don't think Kamara is ever going to be more than a 200-carry guy, and you know they want to run the football, which means Murray is going to get work. Let's not forget, Mark Ingram was RB2 last year when he
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think I'm going to reach.
I think that's a good reach.
And I guess it's a good thing we aren't necessarily live, and because I know there were a few guys in the league that were going to try to watch. They contacted me via email when I sent that out, so this could work out in my favor.
Think about Landry in the 7th. I think that's pretty good there.
That is good value. People are really high on Odell Beckham Jr., and they're going to act like Baker Mayfield doesn't tend to spread the ball around, which he does.
I agree.
I'm going to scroll down here and make sure I don't miss. There it is. All right, there you go. Now I got my running back depth. I don't know why, but you picked 11th, and it feels like I'm constantly trying to catch up or keep up with your depth.
I think it's the Edelman pick.
Yeah.
It's just running back depth. I just went, screw it, I'm going straight running back.
This is the time where, like, if I did draft the Matt Ryan or if I did draft the Aaron Rodgers, and I see that there's still like Cam Newton. I don't know if Russell Wilson. Let me go to the quarterbacks here real quick. Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, Carson Wentz. That's when it kicks in. They're like, man, I really shouldn't have reached on those quarterbacks earlier.
Yep. I mean, I think Cam's a top 5 QB or top 3 QB. I think half the time he plays the entire year, right? Like that's something.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep telling myself, just wait, whenever a quarterback comes up I like. What do you think about A.J. Green going here?
So I was actually thinking about Green because I was thinking about shooting through the fence on my team. Now, this is a roster makeup thing. I think I can do that on my team because I feel my team is very safe right now. Right? If I felt like I needed to get someone that I needed to play right away, I would definitely look somewhere else.
I'm just rooting against the guy who said get healthy, AJ. I want him to really get healthy by not coming back this year.
My receiver
So to me, this is not a question who I'm going to draft. Because I considered it last time. It's Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, he really plummeted down the list there.
I don't even have to think about that. That's not even a question.
Exactly. So it makes
I mean, if Patrick Mahomes even has a 10% regression, we're still talking about 45 touchdowns. So
Right.
He's going to go somewhere, and Sammy Watkins is going to be starting on the field opposite Tyreek Hill. So
He's going to be a starting wide receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs for the 11th pick in the 7th round on a 13-team league. Yeah, that's a playable asset to me, right? And that's what I'm looking for right now is a playable asset.
Yeah, and I think we were just in different positions. Like you said, the Julian Edelman pick really dictated I needed to go down and get Latavius Murray. Plus, I already had Westbrook. So we kind of just you kind of followed through a little better. You followed through a little better on my going running back heavy. But I got 4 running backs here that I think I can make until there's an injury that needs to make an adjustment.
What is Ben doing?
You got another pick coming up here. I'm going to take a look at your team and try to predict where you're
Here's an interesting thing where I just start to hate everybody. Like we've just hit the point where like I don't like a single person on this board. I just everything I see, I just find anger and pain. And looking at this is why I'm happy I went running back early.
Yeah, this is where you're going to choose one of these crapshoot wide receivers.
Because I could rather shoot for a wide receiver that I feel is a kind of a crapshoot here than I would for than I really would from a standpoint. So I'm probably going to do something that I think is a little interesting that I wasn't planning on doing. But when I take a look at down the board here and what everyone else has, and I don't like anybody, I don't feel anyone's really a tier above anyone else. Maybe Christian Kirk is like the one guy. People love Curtis Samuel. He's got some boom potential. Sure. This is tough because I'm really tempted to go Vance McDonald.
I mean, I'll tell you, if you don't take him, I'm going to take him.
I think I'm going to go Vance and take someone who I think could be a pretty decent tight end. But I'm only doing this because I feel pretty strongly about my team and how things are going.
No, I agree with you. So I looked at tight end earlier and I saw Vance, but I saw Delaney Walker just a little lower. Well, he actually got drafted too. So now I find myself contemplating having to go like I guess Trey Burton on Chicago possibly.
Mark Andrews would be my guy.
Well, isn't he still kind of like they drafted Hayden Hurst not long ago? So I mean,
yeah, but he's not doing anything. I mean, Mark Andrews is the starter for sure.
I can't see what's going on.
Yeah, I might be stream tight end like we talked about earlier, but I definitely didn't want to try to trick you out of getting Vance McDonald. Not that I could have, but he was on the back of my mind, and I didn't even realize Delaney Walker went just a few picks.
I consider Christian Kirk and Curtis Samuel. I think Kirk's safer. I think Samuel has a chance to bust. I just don't know about Samuel. Like I feel like he screams boom bust game for me, and good luck predicting which one it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Christian Kirk if he's still available.
That's right. I like that. And I gotta say, I like how you've gotten 4 running backs. Team, you got some good depth there.
Yeah, I call it enough depth. I got just enough depth.
Look at Lamar Jackson going in the 8th.
Yeah, and people get fixated on a running quarterback, but I don't know. Like I feel like so my comparison to Lamar Jackson is going to be Josh Allen. Josh Adams. What's his name? John Brown. For Buffalo. Josh Adams, right?
For who?
No, Josh Allen. Sorry.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
On Buffalo, in comparison to Lamar Jackson, they both run the ball a ton. But the good thing about Josh Allen is he's got a cannon for an arm. So if he connects with John Brown, he can actually give you upside.
Can you grab me another slice, babe?
Yes.
So
Save those 2 sausage burgers.
That's fine.
In case.
What? I'll take whatever. So I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's actually a way better passer than people think he is. I think there's a stigma on running quarterbacks, and he's great. I think that he probably could have waited and got him later, honestly, though.
Oh, I agree. Unless there was someone else who was texting him privately.
So I wanted him, but I was at least 3 picks away from thinking.
Yeah. You know who I'm looking at? And I know you're on the clock, but Dante Pettis, there's been like up and down reports, but I mean, if you're talking about upside.
He could be. He's not had a camp that builds a whole lot of excitement.
No, so you did go upside with Daryl Henderson.
I'm not sure Daryl Henderson is even the backup.
I said you. I meant drafting greatness went with upside on Daryl Henderson. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, so here's the thing with Daryl Henderson. I'm not sure Malcolm Brown's not the backup there.
I think so too. Daryl Henderson's probably like the running back of the future potentially, but
yeah, I mean, if that's a dynasty league, great, but
yeah, no, we have not changed the rules. This is not a dynasty league.
okay, good to know.
A lot of wide receivers here to choose between. You know what's interesting is there we go. Someone just took Dante Moncrief. I think that was a good pick.
I
think
like Moncrief too.
Washington will catch up to Moncrief sooner than later. Moncrief's never had a good quarterback with the ball.
All right, I want one more. Somebody have a third.
Except for that Andrew Luck guy.
I think Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback when he was in Indy.
I think he had one. I believe he had one with Andrew Luck, but when he was
he
hurt,
might have then.
when he was hurt for most of the year.
I heard that's the reason why Andrew Luck retired was because Dante Moncrief was no longer on.
All of Taylor. Yeah, I pretty much drank all of Taylor's already.
I had a water somewhere over here.
I might have drank it too much.
I think I'm going to be really deep at a wide receiver.
That sounds like something I would do. That one is frozen solids, so that's good.
Any interest in any of the running backs on the board? I mean, Justin Jackson, maybe.
Yeah, not really, but I'm actually DK Metcalf for later on in the season. I don't think they want little Tyler Lockett to be their number one wide receiver indefinitely, and hence why they drafted DraftKings Metcalf.
So here's the thing about Metcalf is he's a physical freak, but his catch rate was like 50% in college. I don't want a 50% catch rate in the NFL.
That's a good point. You might be talking me off. I'm going back up here to the top. Corey Davis is an interesting guy. Since I'm not going to be getting Delaney Walker, maybe looking at the number one wide receiver on Tennessee. I think this is the last year for Corey Davis to do something. So.
Yeah. I think he's a talent. I just don't know about Mariota, man.
Yeah. Well, maybe Ryan Tannehill figures it out.
Yep.
What's the notion?
You know who I like? I like Tyrell Williams. I do think that Antonio Brown wears out his welcome very quickly, and the losing won't make things any easier.
Tyrell Williams is an interesting one. Like I'm definitely interested in Tyrell Williams.
Tyrell the Gazelle. Where did Cortland Sutton go to college?
I can't remember.
I feel like he's a Texas Longhorn.
So here's a question for you. When are you thinking about drafting quarterback here?
You know what? So my quarterback targets they're almost all there. Kirk Cousins, I guess Russell Wilson just came off the board, and did Jameis Winston, so never mind. Those are my other two. Since I waited as long as I did, Mr. Trubisky comes into play. Kirk Cousins isn't bad. I mentioned Josh Allen earlier. People fell off Jimmy Garoppolo, but, everybody was in love with him not too long ago before he was injured. Oh, and Jared Goff. This guy's not bad.
Jared Goff is probably who I'm thinking I might pick Goff here. There's a bunch of quarterbacks I like on the board, but the thing is I don't feel like I'm missing on a wide receiver here. If I miss anybody, right?
I agree with you. We talked about
I really regret getting somebody here. Same as running back, right? I'm like, oh man, I really missed this person if I don't get him,
Yeah, it looks like, I'm looking at, I got two more bench spots, but if you're taking Goff, then I think that means it's time to take a quarterback here. I guess Big Ben's not a bad option. I'm just not – I know how old he is, so –
I think I'm going to go Goff. Pettis still was really on my mind, to be honest, because I think I'm going to know week one whether I want to keep Pettis on my team or not.
You know who's interesting is Sam Darnold. I feel like Le'Veon Bell's going to take a lot of pressure off of Sam, and I think Robbie Anderson's not a bad 1B. And then Quincy Enunwa has some talent. Jamison Crowder is a more than serviceable slot receiver. And then Herman comes back in 4 weeks. Or I could just go safer with Kirk Cousins.
So I'll say this: part of the reason why I picked Goff too, and it's nothing to do with who he is as a player. So I will say this: his touchdown percentage was ridiculously low for how many passing attempts he had in the red zone last year, which I think we can see bump up. But
Probably because of Gurley. I mean, right? Is that a fair assumption?
But I wonder if Gurley's injury is going to change the way they look at it too.
You are right. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I think Gurley was a reason that his touchdowns were somewhat suppressed, and with them probably managing his workload, I think they should be in a good spot.
Yeah, there's nobody I like.
Jimmy Garoppolo, I kind of like, but the thing that I like is I like him. I think he's not bad. I like his coach, but I'm not sold on his wide receiver options. But I do like Kittle. So if Garoppolo is still available, he might be the quarterback.
So I am going to go with Pettis because for the reason that I think I can drop him week 1, if depending on what happens.
Find out.
Right. I'm gonna find. I don't want to have someone. Right. My goal now is I want to know. I don't want Deshaun Jackson, who I know what he is. And I've got to play that game with Deshaun Jackson. And I want to know if Pettis is worth keeping week 1, week 2. So I can go on the waiver wire for the hotnesses. And I can go freely and angrily at them.
All right, so I'm actually looking at drafting David Njoku. The reason being, it's his 3rd year in the league. He's going to be under the radar with everybody focused on Chubb and Odell Beckham. So I can't imagine a better play action in the NFL, actually. And I think at this late in the draft, yeah, I'm selling myself on Njoku. So you want to know an interesting thing about Njoku last year?
Are there any wings left? Yeah. I would love some wings.
All right.
You want to know an interesting thing about David Njoku last year?
Sure.
In the DraftKings Millionaire Maker, he was on the 2nd place team. He had 0 points.
Really?
Yes. He went out
That's amazing.
0 points, and the guy got 2nd in the Millionaire Maker. So I think he ended up winning like 50 grand or 100 of the two. But if he had just caught one pass for 10 yards, the guy would have been won $1 million.
So I don't know if you look at the way I do, but I have 0 interest in drafting a defense or a kicker until the very last pick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Those are what the last 2 rounds are for. So there you go. Yeah, I got my tight end, and I don't have to really stream. I can kind of roll with it there.
Yeah, I like that. I still think he might be in the streaming category. My concern from him is where he is on the target pecking order.
I agree. He's 4th.
At best. I mean, that's my concern with Sammy Watkins, too. But the existence of Patrick Mahomes eases my concern somewhat.
So what do you think about the Dolphins wide receivers? I'm pretty sure they're all available.
Somebody is going to be interested, is going to do something.
Because Ryan Fitzpatrick's probably going to start the year off with a 300-yard game. Maybe 300 and 3 picks.
Before the trade, it was easy with Kenny Stills, right? Like, I was definitely looking at Kenny Stills late in drafts.
I think so. So here's the problem is Devontae Parker's at the top of the depth chart like he's been the past 4 years. And we all know who he is at this point. Preston Williams, I think, is the guy that people should be looking at. And then Albert Wilson is the gadget guy that they want to get the ball to.
Yep.
It's just we got to figure out. You know what? Actually, I do kind of like Albert Wilson. He would probably be the guy if I.
Albert Wilson is not bad. I can tell. I know who if I get to who I'm drafting. It's not really a question on my side.
Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at Justin Jackson now. At this point, Justin Jackson, I can probably play at times this year. He is going to be the goal line running back for what I think is a good offense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I just realized I still don't have my quarterback, but I think I'll be okay.
And so I don't know about you. I'm not going to put 2 quarterbacks on my team. I have no interest in doing that. I'll stream if I need to.
Right, I agree. At this point, if I got Garoppolo or I got Kirk Cousins, whoever it is, I'm just going to drop them on their bye week and pick up somebody else who's going to.
And Justin Jackson goes, which hurts what I want to do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep going deep at wide receiver. I know Preston Williams is the future, but I think Albert Wilson's still on a pretty big contract, so they're going to want to use him. And I don't think Devontae Parker's good. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anybody here. I know I have someone in the league who likes Deshaun Jackson a lot, so we'll probably go right after I pick him. And the Dolphins should be playing from behind. Yeah, let's go Albert Wilson.
So it's interesting. I'm tempted to go Jalen Samuel if he comes to me. I don't like to handcuff. Like, I think handcuff in most places is not a good idea, but I think he has standalone value from a passing perspective.
He showed it last year that if James Conner goes down, he's going to be the guy.
Well, I think he has some standalone value too from a passing game perspective.
I don't know. I don't think so last year they didn't use a complimentary back really, like at least none that really had any value. They'd have to change what they did over the last handful of years, and the Steelers tend to be.
That's true. I mean, that's fair. I'm at the I hate everybody stage.
Yes.
Actually, honestly, just though it's another Green Bay receiver, Geronimo Allison's pretty interesting to me.
I think so too. I guess Marquise Valdes-Scantling already went, but I thought Geronimo would be a better option.
He did, and which makes me think that you know who's. I know this is crazy, but you know who still probably is worth a pick at some point coming up here?
Who?
Old man Gore.
Yeah, I guess he could be.
He's a starting, probably going to be the starting running back. I know David Singleton and everything, but Frank Gore he exists.
He does. Do you know how old Frank Gore is? Like a legitimate guess. Do you know how old he is?
I think he's 36.
He right on the nose, exactly. A 36-year-old running back. They don't need to put him out there.
I am going to go Geronimo.
Who'd you draft?
Allison. And I honestly, I actually, Gio Bernard is a little tempting to me as well.
I can see a little bit.
Like I said, I hate everybody here. Like,
I found someone. I just don't think they're going to make it to me.
Oh no, I know who I'm going to. There's no way it's going to make it to me. I hope it comes to me, but I know exactly what I'm drafting. It's not even a question. I actually would have drafted him last round if I paid attention.
Is it Paul Richardson?
It is not Paul Richardson.
Oh, good. I like Paul Richardson.
I don't think that's bad. That's a shot in the dark, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm using the same logic I did on Albert Wilson, where Paul Richardson got a big contract 2 years ago. He was injured last year. He's not a bad deep route runner.
I won it one time.
So 2 years ago, when I finished fourth or tied for third in the drafting, the lineup that I had Paul Richardson on it, so I know he's capable of big games. It was that shootout. It was that shootout when Deshaun Watson went out to Seattle.
No, I like that. Paul Richardson, that's a good. So I'm going to draft the starting running back for the Washington Redskins.
Getting a starting running back at this time can't be understated, which goes back to your Frank Gore point.
Adrian Peterson had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. I know that's crazy and dumb, but if for my second to last pick, yeah, I'll take a 1,000-yard rusher. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm apparently going to go Paul Richardson if he's still there, and then I'll go with my quarterback, defense, and kicker.
If you notice, people are making fun of me a little bit for my Peterson.
I think that's a fair pick at this point. There's almost no bad pick.
Did the mister go off?
Maybe right. Maybe it is all going to be Geis, but I don't think so. I think that's their starting running back.
He's okay, but like
It did? Okay.
back.
Maybe we're just so used to it. Yeah. I didn't know about it.
You know who I like if he didn't get injured all the time? Would be Jordan Reed.
Okay, there they are. Need to line up.
Martin, the driver.
Are you?
I think Deebo Samuels is a shot in the dark on who's going to actually catch the football. San Francisco is not a bad one either.
Yeah, he's not a bad lottery ticket. What I would call it.
I mean, it's your last pick, right? It's Mr. Irrelevant. It's a lottery ticket.
Yeah, no, it is. Debo Samuel is kind of like Marquise Goodwin. He's just a little bit more.
I like Marquise Goodwin too.
He's a little more versatile, I guess.
Same way why I picked Dennis Pitta. It's a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I can't drink that too.
Is Dennis Pitta in Denver?
San Francisco. Not Dennis Pitta. Pettis. Sorry.
Pettis, yeah, okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Dennis
sorry,
Pitta
that was on me. I missaid.
If Dennis Pitta was in the league, he would be in Denver because that's where Joe Flacco is.
And he has to stay with Joe Flacco.
Yes.
3-yard completions.
It was like the 97th page of the agreement that Joe Flacco signed.
It was the worst quarterback agreement.
There we go, back-to-back Redskins pick.
There you go. I like Jordan Reed. If I was going to pick like a last pick tight end, Jordan Reed would be on my list.
Yeah. I got a lot of depth. Now I got the mandatory positions.
Oh, all right.
And I see Jimmy Garoppolo still available, which I thought it might be the case. But now I'm contemplating getting Josh Allen.
I mean, so I hate Josh Allen, but I'm a college football fan, so all college football fans who watched him play at Wyoming should hate Josh Allen.
Yeah. He ran so many times towards the back half of last year.
Here's a question for you. Any interest in Ryan Fitzpatrick?
he crossed my mind. He really did. That matchup against the Ravens isn't as bad as people want you to think.
I know you're a believer in that. You gave me some stick for drafting in the other league. Though I'll have you know, I picked up the Seattle Seahawks defense after the trade for Clowney in place of Baltimore.
I like that. I think that's smart. Clowney's a huge upgrade as far as personnel is concerned. I just think they're unfortunately a good bit behind the eight ball. I don't know where all their money went on defense.
I'm just moving that.
Or offense.
Using this for dip or something?
You know where Seattle spent all their money?
Like treasure.
Where?
Empty
I
box.
don't know. That's the question. I don't know because they don't have that much talent. They have Russell Wilson.
Snug.
Not much
Carroll's
else.
pocket, maybe?
Yeah.
It must be.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So, honestly, who do you think, Josh Allen or Jimmy Garoppolo? What are your reasoning? I think I could be swayed on this one.
Upside Josh Allen because he's a running quarterback, and running quarterbacks are broken in leagues. Is probably where you want to go from a fantasy standpoint. But I hate him with every passion of my being, so I can never pick him.
Yeah, I think I like Josh Allen, and I'm not even really considering Derek Carr because I could see Antonio Brown fading out. If Derek Carr doesn't get him the ball and they're not winning enough, that is going to explode.
It could. That was my concern with Josh Jacobs. Thank you.
So, yeah, I see that with Josh Jacobs. I just kind of feel like with him being a rookie, they're not going to take him off the field, at least not if they're I feel like if they're smart at all. But, John Gruden does like Doug Martin.
I'm probably going to go with Jalen Samuels. I don't like handicapping in general, but I think he might have standalone value, and I think I'll know pretty early. And I can drop him week 1 for someone I really want if I need, and I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, James Conner kind of broke down as the season wore on, so maybe the Steelers saw something there. They also could just do what they always do and just run back into the ground and then go to the next one if needed.
Oh, 100%. And like I said, I treat my last couple picks as I'm probably going to drop these guys in week 1 of the season, right? To go after somebody I want.
All right, I got my quarterback.
Last pick.
You know who I think got a really nice pick? I think DJ Chark is a nice pickup.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good too.
Start the hot shot.
He's a big body wide receiver with good hands who had a good preseason. And if Marquise Lee has any kind of setbacks, he should be in for a good year.
You want me to find it?
Now, this is where all the defenses and kickers start flying off the board.
I'm still going to wait till last pick. I'd rather have Samuel than play the kicking game with the defense. I'm totally fine with that. I'd rather take someone who has value and will show me week 1, then go for defense.
Well, if you don't fucking drink all my water, maybe I will. Oh my god, you fucking bastard, dude. I drink all my water.
I think Justin Tucker's a good pick at kicker. He can sing opera.
Yeah, right? To me, all kickers are the same. I don't care. I'll stream it as necessary.
Drag the leg.
I haven't really focused on kickers in so long. I guess I see a few names here. It doesn't change.
I mean, kickers to me, they're whatever.
The worst thing is when a kicker kicks like 3 50-yard field goals, 2 extra points, and a 40-yard field goal. And they
Personally, I would like a league that gets rid of kickers for another. That's just me.
I brought it up, and it was like no one wanted to have the tough conversation associated with that. But it makes all the sense in the world.
It's more fun too, honestly, because who is the kicker? Whatever.
I thought I laid out a pretty good case, just saying, hey, fantasy football is random enough as it is without having to, rely on somebody to hit a 50-yard field goal and 13-mile-an-hour winds.
Yep.
I guess that's not that windy. 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Legit is like, I have to put it, if I put it on, that's where I get fucked up.
Oh, okay. Wonder if you're allergic to
If I put it on, I start getting.
So I know very little from a defense standpoint. I'd mostly look at what I think the matchups are going to be, which makes me think I'm probably going to go Seahawks because they're playing the Bengals.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I'm looking at the Chargers because they're playing a backup quarterback, but the Colts as a whole are a pretty good team. So, I'd go with the Eagles first. I think the Eagles are in that division with some good matchups.
So I'll probably go Eagles. That's fine. That's who I was thinking of. If not,
Yeah, I don't think the Chargers are going to be around by the time I come up because I see one auto pick. And, good, they already have a defense, so I might be okay, depending.
and I'll probably take Harrison Buckner as a kicker. I don't care.
Yeah, they shouldn't be kicking too many field goals, but they'll be moving the ball up and down the field. So
it's just I want as many opportunities as possible, and it's a good offense. Yeah. Who they play? The Chiefs, Jags. Well, maybe I don't want that. Then that would be.
Well, they should still move.
Robbie Gold against the Bucks. Action. It's probably who I'm going to go with.
Yeah, and I told Riley, hey Riley, just think when the Bucks going. I wonder what Riley would say.
Well, the Ravens defense is still available, interestingly enough. I'm not a huge fan of them because they lost Terrell Suggs and Mosley, but they did bring in Earl Thomas, and I think they have a good secondary. If they can generate some pass rush, they should be able to.
What's my friend? What? What?
How are we at 34 seconds for the last pick?
Yeah, you are, Sam.
Yeah, I should have seen if I can stop the draft and adjust that time, but I also counted on people being a little quicker.
Yep.
Damian Harris had a good preseason for the Patriots. I just hope that they don't do anything out of the ordinary because I'm really high on Sony Michel for week 1 daily fantasy.
I'm going to bring this inside because I don't going to hear anything on the stream. Bring it inside so there's a little less noise so we can talk about final thoughts here.
Perfect.
As we get to our team. So as you look back on your team, because we just have kicker. What are your overall thoughts? Is there any regrets?
My only regret would possibly I like my bench wide receivers almost to the point where I wouldn't mind if they were starting in certain matchups for week 1.
Yeah.
So I might have reached for a running back instead of Julian Edelman, or I might have even reached instead of Mike Evans. I could have possibly gotten. I'd have to look back and see, but I could have gotten somebody a little better at the running back. And my Chargers got taken a little early. But I think instead of betting on Ryan Fitzpatrick with those wide receivers, let me see if the Ravens are still available. Because that's not like just targeting that first week sometimes can be the way to go. So I'll take the Ravens defense to pick off Ryan Fitzpatrick hopefully 3 times. Well, looks like I lost Sean. So those comments are for everyone else. Well, until Sean comes back, I'm going to mute it, and I will just make my last pick inside. Hey, I think you're in there already.
Sorry about that, Sterling. My computer died there.
You're good. I just saw the message in GroupMe, so I was about to respond to that. Let's see.
So let's do final thoughts here now that we've got our team drafted. Where we feel we could have done something different. What we regret, what we like. Let's go there. Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to start with my Mike Evans pick because I have Julian Edelman, Dede Westbrook, Christian Kirk, Corey Davis, Albert Wilson, Paul Richardson. I like my wide receiver depth. I would say that going running back heavy, and so that way I didn't have to start Singletary, who might get more action in the back half of the season, could be the way to go.
Yeah. For me, looking at mine, the thing I'm most happy with is probably my running back depth early on. I feel like Connor, Montgomery, Michelle, Coleman are all startable running backs that I could start week 1. And that makes me very happy from that perspective because I felt right after that Coleman pick, it just died from a running back standpoint on what was there, what was interesting to go after. I felt it was nothing. I felt like that was, it was not good on that standpoint. So I'm quite happy that I chose to go there because I think that gives me what I consider pretty much 3 to 4 top tier running backs. From a wide receiver standpoint, I'm very happy that Watkins fell to me. The place I feel like I did not like was the Dennis Pittis pick. The Dave Pittis pick. I feel like I could have got something that's more of a usable asset there rather than take a shot at the dark. So I wish I probably went somewhere else over there and filled it out with receivers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I'll be honest, otherwise I'm pretty happy. I'll say one more. I like Josh Allen, but I really wish I was looking at Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson as my quarterback. And I realize I've been sitting on not drafting a kicker. So let's go with the San Francisco 49ers kicker, Robbie Good as gold.
You jerk. That was mine.
He was towards the top. It would have been my auto pick anyway, so no hard feelings.
It's okay. I already went through my belief on running back, so that I just don't care. Kickers, sorry.
I have my 5-year-old trying to knock down the door, and it's 9 o'clock, so I think it's time for me to read her a bedtime story. Let's do our final recap like another time once we see the breakdown of order. And does that sound like a good thing?
That sounds like a good thing to me.
Perfect. I appreciate it, Sean. Your team's looking good, and I'll take a closer look, and I'm sure we'll probably finish first and second.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right. Talk to you later.